Hey, I'm Darin.
I am Mike.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. This is episode 194. We're Cincinnati's comedy podcast.
Damn it. Let's do it again.
Hey, I'm Darin.
I am Mike.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome, Cincinnati's comedy podcast. This is episode 194.
We are...
First you're stepping on me, and then you're watching your phone. What are you playing, online Scrabble over there?
It is 194. I thought you screwed up the number. All right. Okay. All right. Do this.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Hey, I'm Darin.
I'm Mike. I know.
You know what?
No,
Now
it's in because you think I'm doing this on purpose. I'm not doing this on purpose.
When you're ready, then I'll just wait on you. I'm going to wait for you to be ready.
I'm not doing this on purpose.
No, that's fine.
That's what's making me laugh right now.
That's fine.
That's you know. Please know that I'm not doing this on purpose.
I believe you.
You've done this. We've done this long enough.
Long enough. 3 years. 3+.
A friend of mine said, you should get married, Gary. You'll get a lot of new comedy material out of it. That's a huge risk. What if I don't?
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome, vacuum sealed for freshness.
That's right.
Please welcome your hosts, Mike and Darin.
Hey, I'm Mike.
I'm Darin.
You are listening to Irritable Dad Syndrome, episode 194.
Yeah.
We are Cincinnati's comedy podcast.
Yeah.
Except for last episode.
The last episode was all about you two.
But this one,
Good
we are
Lord.
turning the funny faucet on full blast.
And the water pressure is on fleek.
This episode is going to be so damn funny.
Oh, yeah.
If you're driving, pull over.
That's right. We don't want to risk you or other members of traffic.
If you're in a Tesla, dear Lord.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Yeah. How funny is this episode? I'm going to talk about going to the dermatologist.
And I'm not going to talk about because I talked about everything in the last episode. How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
What's been happening lately?
Well, I wanted to talk about, I have a family. You've met them.
I've seen them, yeah.
Do you guys ever have like family game night? Do you play board games or do you play cards?
We do. Sometimes they end well. A lot of times they end in tears.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seriously, do you guys play along well? I mean,
It depends.
It's like, is it okay if somebody loses or does someone get pissy when they...
So we all like different types of games.
True.
Now, Bess likes fast-paced games that people like slam cards down.
Right.
Or grab things.
Hello.
Or yell things out.
Yeah.
I tend to like the games that like trivia. I like that.
Yeah.
I like talkie games.
Yeah.
And those type of things. And the kids are a wild card.
Yeah.
So, Andrew and Charlie tend to like Bess's games more than Dad's games.
Yeah.
Every once in a while we get lucky and find one that we all like.
Well, we can all play Uno. Okay. We all love playing Uno.
Mm-hmm.
That's a gimme.
That's one in Spanish.
That's Spanish for one.
Spanish
That's
for
right.
one.
And we can play Uno until the cows come home.
Yeah.
We can play Uno. I love playing Phase 10. If my mom's at the house, we will play Phase 10. That's a fun card game. Okay.
Is that like Squid Game?
No. It's nothing. No one's ever
guns.
been shot or killed
Okay.
during
Yeah.
Phase 10.
Okay. That you know of.
A couple of years ago, Libby bought Ticket to Ride. It's a train game where you have your train and your track, and you've got your...
Most trains have tracks.
Yeah, well, you've got your destination,
Yeah.
and it's like, I've got to get from St. Louis to Oregon, and you've got to...
Why would you go to Oregon?
Because that's your path, Mike.
Okay.
Because some people travel from St. Louis to Oregon. Okay.
Is that
Some
the
people-
only path you can take?
No, there's multiple paths. And so a lot of us like that. One member of the family doesn't.
Okay.
So when you have a family of 4, if one person doesn't like the game, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, we're just going to play without you.
Uh-huh.
Fine. Screw you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, whatever. We don't do that. We have finally found a game.
Okay.
And this game is called Catan. Catan. Some people call it Catan.
You posted about that. That's a game for nerds and anime freaks.
That game.
Anime fans. Sorry, don't
There's
edit out
no
freaks.
there's no anime
nerds
in it.
nerds and anime fans. I know, but anime fans like Catan.
That game is tearing our family apart.
I've heard.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard.
It is okay, it is so much fun.
Uh-huh.
Okay? But I mean, we are all just getting borderline I kill you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
With this game. And at first, it was because one particular family member, Jacob, would always win. Okay. And he was always winning and we could not beat him.
Yeah.
Right. And then Cameron started catching on and figuring out. And it's like, and learning these tricks. And if I do this thing, if I do thing, then he started winning. Libby starts figuring it out. And she starts getting more and more competitive. And I'm the dumb guy just sitting there rolling the dice. Ain't nothing happening. It's like I'm losing. I've only got like 2-3 points and they're up in 8, 9. You win when you get 10 points.
It's a complicated game, isn't it?
At first.
Because brief, let me cut in here real quick.
Yeah.
We have the PlayStation VR, and there's a VR version of Catan.
Okay.
I don't have any friends that play games like that.
Okay.
I have many. There's a game right there, right in front of you, Dark Souls, which no one will play with me because it's an incredibly complex game.
Yeah.
Catan, there's a VR version of it. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I can play this game that I've heard so much about and learn it. And I never made it through the tutorial. It just kept going and going and going and move this here. And you got wheat. And then there's like little...
There's wheat, rock, brick, sheep, and logs or wood. Okay. You've got all these hexagons spread across the board.
It's a hexagonal game.
It's a hexagonal game. And there's numbers in the middle where the 3 hexagons connect. And it's like you want to get on a 6 or an 8 because those have rolled the most. Okay. You want to get on a 6 or an 8 if possible. You don't want to get a 12 or a 2 because people rarely ever
who's ever going to roll a 12 or a 2?
Also, you can get your you can buy a settlement at the beginning. At the beginning of the game, every person has 2 settlements.
Yeah.
You can put them wherever the hell you want. And then this is where the fight starts the second we start the game, because Libby had first turn. She puts her settlement right near a port, and Jacob was, that's where I was going to go. And then the game later, Jacob puts his settlement, and Libby's like, that's where I was going to go.
Okay.
And they're like, So if you get next to a port, then you can trade your 2 rock for anything. If you need a brick, if you need wheat, if you need a sheep, or as Jacob would say, a piece of sheep, you can, you can do that, right?
I need a little piece of sheep right now. It gets lonely in Catan.
I'll say. So we're playing this game, and 2 or 3. I can't remember. We've played 9 or 10 games of it. Okay, Jacob's won 3, Cameron's won 3. I think Libby won 3, and I finally won 1. Okay, and then I was just like, raise the roof, y'all. Yeah, and because of Daddy finally won, and then I was like, fine, because now that I've won, there's no pressure. And so, the game we're in now, I am killing them. I am just like killing them. I've got the longest road. That's 2 extra points. I've got 5 settlements. Okay. I can't buy any more settlements, Mike. I've got to turn one in and convert that to a city before I can buy any more settlements. I can't do that. And here's the thing. It's like I'm getting all kinds of wheat. I'm getting all the wood I'd ever need.
That's what she said.
I'm getting all the brick I need.
Yeah.
I can't get sheep and I can't get rock. And you need rock and wheat to buy a city.
You got all this wood and no sheep to help you out with that.
I'm at 7 points. And I bought a development card. People who play Catan understand this. I bought the development card.
By the way, when we tag Catan on this episode, our listenership is going to go through the roof. I'm serious. It's right up there with anime and Star Trek.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
We're going to have Tool fans and Catan fans fighting constantly in our chat.
But here's the thing. I'm at 7 points, and I have a victory point. So that means all I got to do is get to 9. I cash in my victory point, and I win. Jacob is at 3. Cameron is at 3.
You guys are destroying them.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Libby is sneaking up to me. She's at 6. Okay? And then we had to stop playing because the boys had homework and they had stuff to do, whatever. I called her aside.
Little side deal.
I did. No, I called her aside and I said, listen, don't come at me. And I was as serious as the day is long. Do not come at me. I need you to stand down.
You're like Joe Pesci in Casino talking to...
and she's like, and then she says, or what? I'm like, or what?
What?
Oh, you'll find out what.
Yeah.
I don't.
The hell are you doing on TV anyway? You know what we're doing out here in the desert. You're coming at him like that.
But I'm like, listen, I am at the point now, and it's not, and this sounds horrible. I'm a horrible father. I'm going to admit this. It's not because I'm winning. It's because I'm about to rub his face in it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it's about to happen.
I'm
well,
it's your duty.
Yeah.
It's like you learned this back when you taught them Monopoly.
Yeah.
There's that game in Monopoly where
no one ever wins Monopoly.
No, you could go easy on them, but then there's the chance to just trump them straight to the.
I have never played a game of Monopoly where somebody won. Every game of Monopoly I've ever played, we all just gave up.
Oh yeah,
and it's like, okay, you win.
I've won Monopoly in brutal family tie breaking fashion.
Yeah.
I've won Monopoly to the point where it's like, am I allowed to stay here tonight? Do I need to go get a hotel?
But but I did. I told her, I said, listen, if you know it's good for you, you're going to stand down. Okay, you're not going to keep coming at me because I'm 2 points away from winning this game. And if I win this game, it'll be just, oh my God. Because here's the thing, when I first started playing it, nobody was helping me.
Yeah.
Okay. Not like nobody's helping me win. Nobody was telling me, Dad, you don't want to do that, or you should strategize and put your settlement here. You'd be better off if you put it here. If you do this, this happens, and that's how you can. No one was teaching me strategy. They were just like letting the dumb guy just come in, and that scene. You ever seen the boxing movie with Clint Eastwood and Hilary Swank?
She's in the thing, and
she's the boxer.
They're going to pull the plug.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's that
spoiler for it's like a 50-year-old movie.
There's that guy who's a little bit, he's not really smart.
Yeah.
He works for the boxing ring there. He works for Clint Eastwood. And that punk gets him in the ring and is just beating the crap out of him.
Yeah.
Right? That's what my kids were doing to me because Daddy didn't know what he was doing. Well, I know what I'm doing now.
Oh.
I'm a force to be reckoned with.
Okay.
She needs to step back.
Yeah.
I know she has 6 points now, and I have almost 8 points.
So,
Catan.
The game, I can't.
It's tearing our family apart.
I can't remember the name of the
Million
game.
Dollar Baby.
$1 Million Baby.
Great movie.
I can't remember the name of the game that we played at New Year's Eve, but it required a lot of lying. We also like games where you lie. Like if you have a 3 in your hand, you have to do a thing.
Oh,
you have but
we love playing that.
There was another one where it's like you've got to make the other. It's like some kind of detective game.
Yeah,
and you've got to make them pick the wrong person, and if they do, then you win. And Andrew saw through all of my lies. He was pissing me off.
Yeah.
I had everybody down, and he would just look at me, and he was like, "Dad's the whatever." And it wasn't Mafia.
It's Mafia.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, I know Mafia. Yeah, they love the Mafia game. It was a new game that Bess had bought for New Year's Eve. It was a word that you had on your thing, and you had to make someone say the word without. I can't remember.
We were playing Mafia New Year's Eve. My old boss Pete came over and he was, hey, I got this new game if you guys want to learn it. He's teaching us how to play Mafia.
Okay.
And he is leading the show, right?
Yeah.
And so it's 6 adults and 4 or 5 kids.
Yeah.
Okay. And every death that Pete would announce, some bird, a penguin came in, grabbed the guy, bit his throat, and he died.
Yeah.
Some eagles flew down and carried him away. And then vultures, sparrows, name a bird.
Parakeet.
Parakeet. A parakeet came in and bit this guy on the ankle. He bled to death.
Yeah.
And the kids were losing their mind. They were getting so sick. They're like, stop with the birds. Stop it. He was driving them crazy. And my boss, Pete, the next time around, so there was this pelican. And the more they hated it, the more Pete did it. And I'm like, God, Pete, you're the best boss ever.
Yeah.
But Mafia was so much fun.
That's what you want to do.
Oh, yeah.
Just rub people's face in it.
You're listening to Irritable Dad Syndrome, Cincinnati's comedy podcast.
Ah, waka, waka, waka.
All right, last week we did the All You Too episode. I had mentioned
All You Can Too.
I had mentioned that I went to the dermatologist.
Yeah.
And we ran out of time. I got bumped off my own show. But a couple, and this, I hope this doesn't, people, like a month ago, I noticed that I had something on my stomach, which looked kind of like a pimple.
Okay.
And I've never had a pimple on my stomach. I've had a pimple in weirder places.
Yeah.
But, and I picked at it and I thought that I just, popped it, scabbed over, and then it wouldn't go away.
Oh.
It just would not go away. And I thought, this is weird. Usually it heals quicker than that. I've always been told you get an something that looks funky, if it gets bigger, if it changes color, you call your dermatologist. So I have an annual visit with my dermatologist. This particular time, I called them up and I said, I have a concerning mark. Right. So that puts me in a different category.
Oh,
if I went in for a follow-up, I would not have to pay a copay on my insurance.
Okay.
I went in for a concerning spot. So there was a $75 copay.
Oh,
which I'm like,
that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all. Anyway, and it wasn't my dermatologist, it's a different dermatologist.
That's what it is. You went to one of those.
I usually see Seth, but this guy, Zach, I think. Zach comes into the room with the freezing ray, it looks like a blowtorch, but it freezes. And he says, "Hey, what's going on?" And I showed him. He goes, "Oh, that's whatever." He goes, "It's benign. Don't worry about it. So it's not a problem at all." And I said, "Oh, okay." And he goes, "You want me to freeze it off?" I said, "Well, I mean, if it's benign, if it's not a problem." He goes, "No, you're just going to pick at it. So let me freeze it off."
Oh.
So he freezes this thing, and I don't know if you've ever had something frozen off of you.
Yeah.
It stings. Yeah, it stings like a mother. So he's freezing this thing, and I'm like, okay, ow, 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 sting. All right, and then he looks at it and goes, yeah. Gets a little bit more. And I showed him a couple other marks. You want me to freeze those too? I'm like, if they're benign, then I'm good. But this one was getting huge.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've got some other ones that I'm going to have to get frozen off sometime.
Yeah.
But my stomach looks like I got shot. Looks like I was in the Old West, and it went all the way through, no problem. Yeah. But the point is, kids, go see your dermatologist.
Yes.
Yeah, and have them freeze things off of you if they need to.
God, is that coming through the squeakiness?
It sure is.
Sorry.
Every time. And the slurps. Yeah.
Just letting people know I'm still here.
Yeah, you're still here.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Vibraflux. Listen to their new kick-ass album at vibraflux.irreverb.com. That's vibraflux.eraverb.com.
Do you remember when I told the story about Slaughter autographing my Kiss t-shirt?
Yes.
Yeah, it was on our Best of Volume 1. I saw Slaughter back in the 80s. They opened up for Kiss on the Crazy Nights tour.
Yeah.
My friend Steve Mann got me backstage, and they rushed in, and they came straight to me, and they all autographed my Kiss shirt, and I was pissed. Because they up my Kiss t-shirt, right? So I still enjoyed their album, and I still enjoyed their music.
Yeah.
Well, here lately, over the past year or so, I've been seeing a lot of clips of Vince Neil.
Okay.
Right? Vince Neil, homeboy, he can't sing anymore. Right? He looks horrible. His voice is shot.
Yeah.
And then I saw a
Good.
video.
You know why? Because I have a t-shirt up there. The Motley Crue final tour.
Yeah.
I think it was 2012 is the date on it.
Yeah.
All bad things come to an end.
Yeah.
I spent the money on the shirt. I'm going to hijack this for a minute. I have never bought Motley Crue tickets on my own.
Right.
I own no Motley Crue albums. I think I've seen Motley Crue no fewer than 5 to 6 times because when Fanch and the rest of them are going, I'm going. Never had an album. I'm like, we'll go see them. Had a great time every time.
Yeah.
Knew most of the songs by just hearing them so much.
If you had MTV, you heard every Motley Crue song. Yeah.
They came to Cincinnati on their All Bad Things Come to an End, the final tour. All the shirts said, this is it. This is the end. There was a shirt that had like gravestones with their names. It's like, it's over.
Yep.
Fanch told me about the guy, Mick. Is it Mick Mars?
Mick Mars.
Apparently he's been dying for the past 70 years.
Yeah.
Is he dead?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, I guess not. Okay.
No.
So that's why they're still going.
But
I saw their movie on Netflix. Did you see the Motley Crue movie?
No, but I heard it was pretty good.
I was bawling.
Oh, you told me that.
Tears. I was a blubbering mess. Okay. And I was like, I saw them on their final tour. It was a bittersweet moment.
Yeah.
And then right after that, they're like, we're going on tour. I was like, what?
Hey, what happened? Yeah, then they did a tour with Kiss. It was Kiss, Motley Crue, Def Leppard. I want to say Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, and then
she's always
special guest. So, what is this, Lollapalooza? Am I going to be here all day? Is it all day?
Special guest Bobcat Goldthwait.
Thank you very much. Like, I'd like to see Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Yeah. And Kiss were on their retirement tour.
Yeah, they were on their final tour. I swear, if they come back,
they came to Cincinnati twice on their retirement tour.
I know. I saw the shirt that caused so much conundrum during the Tool time that we had here the past few episodes.
Yeah.
I bought that, and it was their final tour.
Yeah.
But you know what Kiss did that Motley Crue didn't do?
What?
Is that when their final tour hit, they're done. And they said, this is our last date, Madison Square Garden. We're done.
Yeah.
You can't come back from that. Motley Crue tried.
I bet you they do. But anyway,
sorry.
So no, you're fine.
Yeah.
So Vince Neil has been popping up, and then the lead singer of Rat, oh my God, Stephen Pearcy, had a video of him, and it's like, thank God the drummer and the bass player were singing background vocals because Stephen Pearcy couldn't sing. So all these metal people, it's like, why are they touring?
Yeah.
They can't sing anymore. I saw, and I wasn't searching for Slaughter. I don't know why Slaughter just popped up on my TikTok feed, but it did. They just popped up out of nowhere. I wasn't thinking about them. I didn't search them. I didn't even search any other metal bands. Slaughter pops up. I'm like, okay, I can't wait to see what this train wreck is like. You wouldn't know a day had passed.
Really?
Yeah. Mark Slaughter can still, my mind was blown.
They're doing the Bon Jovi thing. They're just like, we don't age, you know.
Well, no. Bon Jovi's got the silver hair.
He does have the silver hair, but that's it. Other than that, you know, if he could put on that wig of the hair again, and it would just be like, okay.
Bon Jovi looks amazing.
He does.
Oh my God, pisses me off. Yeah. So, but I started looking for tour dates. I'm like, I want to see Mark Slaughter. I want to go see Slaughter again, and I want to find them and show them my Kiss T-shirt and have them pay me for it. I would like to tell them that, dude, you sound great.
Yeah.
He really sounds good. Good on him. And they were like doing a casino somewhere.
Okay.
Good on Mark Slaughter.
Have you seen Sammy Hagar lately?
I'm going to see Sammy Hagar.
Really?
Yeah.
When's he coming around?
This summer at Riverbend. You know, Miles, who's Miles, you're not supposed to be listening to the show right now.
Miles.
We carpool. Miles's mom drives Miles, Ethan, Cameron, and one other kid to school every day. I pick them up like half the time, and then Ethan's mom picks them up from school the other half the time. So one day, Laura, Miles's mom, she could not drive them to school, so I stepped up and said, I will do it. Yeah. I will be the honorable parent.
Yeah.
I will take the load. I will take the brunt on the shoulder.
Okay.
I will drive them to school safely.
Yeah.
They will get there on time, and they will have a better experience. Their life will be better after I drive them to school.
And so you got Sammy Hagar tickets because of that.
Exactly. I pulled into Miles's driveway, and his dad, Dan, comes out. And he says, hey, Darin, I hear that you go to concerts from time to time. I said, yeah, I do. I've been known to travel here and there from time to time.
It's like an underground.
Exactly. I hear you can get a man a few things that he needs, if you know what I'm saying, you know. And I said, yeah. And he asked about Sammy Hagar. And I said, yes, Sammy's going on tour. Mike is with him. And they're doing, usually he does.
That's Mike Anthony.
Mike Anthony.
Yeah, I am not with Sammy Hagar.
Yeah, Mike Anthony, the bass player.
Yeah.
Usually Sammy does a majority of solo stuff, and
he's
Montrose,
the Red Rocker.
He is the Red Rocker.
Yeah,
but usually he does a mostly solo stuff, a couple of Montrose things, and a handful of Van Halen songs.
Yeah,
this tour it's like going to be 80% Van Halen or something, and then he's going to sprinkle in some Sammy stuff.
Didn't him and Michael Anthony and it was Chad from the Red Hot Chili Peppers did Chicken Foot?
Chicken Foot.
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, not a bad album.
Okay.
Yeah. And, well, this tour, it's him and Mike Anthony.
Yeah.
Jason Bonham.
Okay.
That's his dad was in a band. Led Zeppelin.
Leadbirds.
Leadbirds. Whatever happened to them? I don't think they went very far. Yeah. And a little known guitarist named Joe Satriani. Okay. So they're coming to Riverbend.
Okay.
And Dan asked if I wanted to go. I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's see what tickets are. What do you think tickets are to see Sammy Hagar?
Anywhere between 80 to 150.
Higher.
200?
Higher.
300?
They were two.
Where are you sitting? Are you on stage?
We went to the lawn, and I normally don't do lawn.
Yeah.
But Sammy's seats were between 250 and like 350. They were higher than 300.
Okay.
And I love
good
Sammy.
For Sammy, man.
I love Sammy. He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Uh-huh.
Okay, he deserves it.
He is the Red Rocker.
He is the Red Rocker. He is a badass. But I'm like, oh my God, I can't. I can't swing that much. So we're going to be on the lawn for Sammy Hagar.
You reminded me of something here.
Yeah, what's that?
I usually talk about the 3 fan bases, the 3 fan groups, the U2, the Tool, and the Rush.
And the Rush.
And my thing about the Rush is they usually don't say for years, and then something will happen, and they'll talk, and then they'll go back away. They've actually been quite animated lately.
Yeah.
Because the rumor is that Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson are going to tour with someone.
Yeah.
So the big controversy now is
Alex Van Halen.
It's not. Well, no, they're not even talking about that. That was a rumor. That
lasted like 5 minutes.
Yeah, different drummers keep popping in there, but the argument is whether it's called Rush or not. So I know you like to piss off fan groups.
I love it.
You love to do it.
I love it. Nothing
so
more.
I'm going to let you a little inside knowledge here.
Yeah.
If you want to piss off a Rush fan group, go in there, and there will be an argument at any given time over whether or not those 3, Geddy, Alex, and unnamed drummer, are Rush or not Rush.
Right.
So if you're on the Rush side of things, you're like, yeah, they're just going to continue, and they're bringing another drummer. That battle is no one can replace Neil Peart.
No.
At all. And that's crazy. And I'm done with them, and they're sons of bitches, and this is a bunch of and I'm not having it, and I've been a fan for blah, 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 blah. And then the other side of that battle is saying they absolutely are Rush. Rush is the bass, Rush is the guitar.
Yeah.
Anybody can play drums. I've seen people covering the drums on YouTube. You sons of bitches, blah, blah, blah. That's that battle. The other battle of they're not going to call it Rush, those two sides are, they're not going to call it Rush. They're going to do the solo things that Alex did and the solo things that Geddy did, and maybe they'll throw a few Rush classics in. It's going to be a whole different thing. Nothing at all to do with Rush, just a few little things for the fans. That's one battle.
Yeah.
That's one side of that battle. And the other side of that battle is, it absolutely is Rush. They're playing Rush songs. What else are they going to do? Nobody listens to anything that Geddy does or Alex does. Hell, you can't even name one of their albums.
Yeah.
These dumb sons of bitches.
Yeah.
They're just trying to. And the fun thing is, you got 4 different factions at battle. This is like Dune. You got the House Atreides, House Harkonnen, and all that. They will occasionally align against the other 2.
Oh, they'll form an alliance. Yeah.
But then those alliances shift. So you'll have the people that say Neil Peart doesn't matter aligning with the people who say it doesn't matter if they play Rush, fighting the other 2. And then those will align, and then they'll switch a line. It's become.
I think they should call it 2/3 Rush.
My point is
Rush, sorta.
Yeah. So my point is
mostly Rush.
My point is, my previous conversations on this podcast about how lukewarm and docile the Rush fan group has not aged well at all.
Yeah.
It is a pit of vipers right now.
Well, maybe they ought to do what they do with Queen, and Queen with Adam Lambert.
There you go.
That's what they did with Queen plus Paul Rogers, because he joined them for an album.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad album either.
They could do what...
But he ain't no Freddie Mercury. Like, I know that.
There's always that guy.
But I've got to tell you something.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be insensitive. Freddie Mercury is dead.
He is.
It's just like, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry that he's gone.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that Neil Peart is gone.
Yeah.
And that argument applies whenever you talk about AC/DC. Bon Scott was better. Bon Scott is dead.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
There's really no point in arguing over who was better when one guy is dead and one guy is alive and is carrying on the band.
Yeah. I would argue that Brian Johnson now is better than Bon Scott is now.
Yes.
At singing for AC/DC.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't even think it's a contest.
Well, Brian did way more for the band, with the band. Back in Black is their best album.
Yeah, Back in
Highway
Black.
to Hell was pretty good, too.
I like High Voltage voltage.
That's pretty good.
It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll.
That's got the best bagpipe solo of any.
Let it rock. Let it roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went off on a tangent.
We went off on a musical tangent.
Yeah.
We took a musical journey.
Yeah. Yes, we did.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Diff Liquid Concentrated Wallpaper Stripper. With its unique enzyme action, Diff dissolves old paste and cuts wallpaper removal time in half. Hi, I'm Dave Lay, and I can't prove this, but I heard that Taylor Swift was seen at her local hardware store buying 2 18-ounce containers of Diff. Until we find video or photos that this actually happened, we're just going to assume that it's true. So what are you waiting for? Go out there and buy some Diff, the only wallpaper stripper endorsed by music sensation Taylor Swift. Now back to you guys in the studio.
One of the dumbest conversations ever happened at work the other day.
Okay.
I work from home.
Yeah.
But I communicate with my other producers on the Teams.
The interwebs.
On Teams.
Yeah.
Okay. We're doing these things called nostalgia stories.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And they're going to air on our website and on the radio.
Okay.
And we've done a ton of interviews with former older bands and actors and actresses. And they did a bunch of them. And Todd did a bunch, Alex did a bunch, I did a bunch, and Charles did a bunch. Todd had said that one of them, or a couple of them, was shot in Potato Vision and didn't think we were going to use them.
Potato Vision?
That's what I said. I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
What'd you say?
Potato Vision?
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, Potato Vision. That's what they call it when the video is vertical. You know, like how you hold a potato. And you're looking exactly like I was looking.
What happened is that you explained a weird post that you made, but then it brought up more questions.
Yeah.
So you posted on social media
said,
recently, how do you hold a potato?
How do you hold a potato?
And I
want to know.
Darin's on another one of his stupid ass things.
No, it's still stupid.
But
there's a reason behind the madness. So he says, yeah, how you hold a potato. And you know me, I can't just let go. I thought, well, that's not how everybody holds a potato.
Yeah.
And then I thought, I betcha if I go on Google Images, I'll find a shot of somebody holding a potato, unlike you would hold, like, say, a remote control. Boom.
First
Google
image, right?
The third one.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. And it's a guy holding the potato left to right, up like you would hold a potato. I don't know.
Yeah.
A plate.
Yeah,
you'd hold a plate if you were a waiter.
Yeah.
And so I send it to him and Alex and Charles. And I said, see?
Yeah.
And I also found a shot of a guy holding like a 45-pound potato, this big, large guy, holding it like you'd hold a baby or something.
Yeah.
And and then we're having this big laugh about the potato. And then I posted it on Facebook. My boss and my boss's boss, they all follow me on the Facebook. So I can't get too screwy on there without them going, Darin, what are you? My boss thinks I'm hilarious. Anyway, she was asking about that on our next Teams meeting. She was asking about that. She says, what were you guys talking about? So I explained to her that Todd thinks Potato Vision is a thing. And then Todd and I, we do this thing where we act like we're really about to go to blows with each other. So it's a good thing I'm not sitting next to you, Todd, or you know. Yeah. And he's like, well, why don't you go on Google and look up more pictures of potatoes? We're having this fight, the quote unquote fight.
Yeah.
And my boss said, wow, I feel dumber just listening to this. And that's when we let it go. But it was hilarious.
Yeah. When they originally asked, or when it was noted Potato Vision, did a small part of you want to say, what's Tater's precious?
Well, somebody posted the GIF, GIF potatoes.
Yeah.
This portion of our show is brought to you by Burger Chef.
I ran into a friend of mine who I haven't seen in a couple of years. My buddy Bill. We used to juggle together every Wednesday night.
Bill was at your the open mic. I remember Bill specifically because he was laughing very hard at everything you said.
No, he wasn't. He was sitting there staring at me.
No, he was laughing himself silly. Bill.
Okay.
The juggling buddy, Bill.
Okay.
Your open mic that you had down here at the funny thing at the Liberty Center?
I remember looking at him and everybody was just staring at me.
He was cackling loudly.
Okay.
And I felt like a bad friend because I wasn't cackling.
That's one of the worst nights of my life. Okay, when I did that, I hadn't done comedy in years. And I decided I'm going to get back on stage. I'm going to get back to doing stand-up comedy because I did enjoy it when I did it. And I said, here we go. And I booked myself for an open mic night at the Funny Bone at the Liberty Center here in Westchester, Ohio. And I practiced for weeks, weeks and weeks and weeks. And I had it memorized, and the start, the finish, then I'd lead into this, I lead into that. And I did everything I could possibly do. I didn't even use new material. Every joke I had told was something that killed at a previous time, whether it was on stage or on social media, or there was one story that I told that was always funny whenever I was at a party or we were out with a couple on a dinner, whatever. Yeah. So, I mean, it's like everything I did that night had gotten a laugh.
Had legs.
Exactly.
Everything you did had legs. Yeah.
I tell my first joke, deliver the punchline.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Blank stares, the crickets, the tumbleweeds.
Yeah.
And then I panicked because I had not been on stage in years.
Well,
and so then I was like,
right before you was Willie the Wonder Cusser. That was like his whole set. He was going up there and say,
yeah.
Hey, have I said yet?
No.
Have you heard me say that? How about have I said?
You know, that was his whole act.
And what they did, I'm glad you brought that up because the guy hosting open mic brings us all outside. And he said, listen, I need you guys to watch your language, do a clean show, no F-bombs. And this guy says, I can't say well, what the am I supposed to say? And I thought, man, your show is over if you can't use that word.
Yeah.
You know? But man, everybody up there, except for me.
Yeah. One guy, literally, that's all he did.
He just,
it was just, like, okay.
But I went up there and I did my thing. And it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. I was so upset.
Yeah,
okay. Well, thank you. I did not go how I wanted it to. Anyway.
My point is that Bill loved it.
Bill, okay.
That was,
So I ran into Bill. And Bill has 4 kids.
Okay.
And I haven't seen his kids in a while. And it was kind of like close to them calling me Uncle Darin, right? After COVID hit, we weren't able to do juggling anymore, and I didn't see Bill every week.
Yeah.
And it's been a long time since I've seen his kids, right? So I see his kids, and I'm like, hey, kids, and I'm going over, and I'm chasing them around, and I'm being silly, and I'm trying to boop their nose, okay? His oldest son, Hunter, he won't let me boop his nose. His daughter, Olivia, no, she will not let me boop her nose.
Yeah.
His other little boy, nope. His little kid, his little girl is still a baby.
Yeah.
There's no point trying to boop her nose.
Yeah.
And they're running from me. And I'm like, why won't anybody let me boop their nose?
Yeah.
Right? And I'm starting to have a problem with this. There's this girl. She's probably, I don't know, maybe 19. She was working the nursery at the church where I saw them. And I just walked over, boop, and I booped her nose.
Yeah.
Without even thinking. And then I looked at the kids. I'm like, see? That's not going to hurt.
It was, you assaulted someone.
And then I looked at her. I was like, you know what? I'm sorry. I booped your nose. She says, it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. But I did it just because I want these kids to think it's funny, right?
Yeah.
So I just walk over.
You want to teach the kids that assaulting someone is funny.
I don't think, is booping a stranger's nose an assault?
Technically, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
an unwanted touch.
On her nose.
Any body part, but nose,
My apologies to Corinne.
You can call it boop.
Boop. I booped her nose.
Yeah. Okay.
In my defense, it was funny.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought it was funny.
By the way, can I bitch about how many people love that shirt and nobody has. And there's a QR code. You just tap it. Literally, they see me, they QR me, they tap, and they have one.
Yeah.
I can't make it more. The only way to make it easier is if I walked around with a bundle of them under my arm.
I'm starting to wonder if we should do that.
Maybe just here, $5.
Yeah. Well,
15.
Come on, Mike. Don't put us in the poorhouse. But maybe we should print some mugs and some shirts and then
just have them there. Just say, hey, here's some. Yeah, people do that.
I mean, do they just not want to order them or what? Is it extra for shipping?
I don't know what it is. It's the old I don't know.
It's the old
Yeah.
If people didn't say they loved them, then it wouldn't be weird.
It's not a normal, like I've had shirts that people look at and be like, oh, that's pretty cool.
It's a nice shirt.
This is people like strange. I am guaranteed.
Yeah.
I took 4 shirts with me.
Yeah.
Each shirt, I had at least 3 conversations per shirt.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of conversations about the show.
Yeah.
And the shirt.
Yeah.
And this is available.
And they love
Is this
it.
your shirt? Yes, I'm wearing the shirt, and it's literally.
Hey, is that your shirt?
Yeah. I
No, I got it off this homeless guy.
It's funny. You like it.
Uh-huh.
I designed it.
Yeah.
I'm selling it.
Well, you didn't design it.
I designed the front.
Jeff Brown
I designed the front.
logo.
That's what we're having the conversation. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We collectively designed it.
Yes.
And it's available.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really available.
Yeah.
And
operators are standing by.
it's not like I'm trying to sell something that nobody wants.
No.
You know,
You're not selling it M-way.
I would understand it if I'm walking all over the airport and stuff. You want to buy my shirt? And people are just trying to be polite. Okay, yeah, just write it down in the thing. And then they walk away. And
what I'm going to do is I'll give you a free shirt, but you've got to sit for 90 minutes for my presentation.
I was stopped as I was walking on the airplane. Oh, let me read your shirt. Like it's not like it's a long shirt. You know what I mean? It's like you could
7 words.
Could see it from a good 20 feet away.
8 words.
You know.
Yeah.
And so, oh, that's really funny. Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
It is. I wish I had a shirt like that. You can. You can have it.
All for the low price.
I've bought shirts for way less interest than that. You know, like I just see oh, I don't have an Indiana Jones shirt. I'll buy that. I'm at the point now, it is not sold for so long. I kind of want no one to ever buy it at this point. I wanted to buy the other shirts, but not this one. It's like it's gone unsold for so long.
The only person who's ever intentionally bought a shirt was Chris Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. All other sales have been me and you.
Right?
Yeah.
And Lisa, one of the patrons of our show, she won the Put the Thing on the Thing shirt.
Yeah.
Which she wears with pride.
It's the only one they've ever printed.
Yeah. She's got the only one. Put the thing on the thing. I still have I've got a You Need to Learn More Words shirt and in my defense, I thought it was funny. And I wore that to Universal Studios. And they loved it.
I've had more conversations about that shirt than any other garment I own. I also, the gist of nearly every conversation was surprised that I have a podcast.
Yeah. It's not like you own you don't own like a lot with the sheep and in Dublin.
It's I
don't know. That's a weird example. Sue me.
It's like because people, I'll mention I have a podcast, and I'd say it a little like I know everybody has a podcast, but the reaction I get is, "You have a podcast, really?
Oh yeah.
Is it available? Yes,
it's
very available.
Oh, is it?
Is it?
Believe me.
Is it in my defense? No, I'm starting to think maybe we should rename our podcast that, because more than half of the people said they were going to look for that. And I'm like, no, it's on the back. And then they say, oh, I did have one person say, oh, I've seen that. Someone at the concert said, I've seen that before.
Have it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like that guy in the convenience store. And I walked in and he goes, oh, yeah, Irritable Dad Syndrome? Yeah, you're the guys that do those dad jokes. I'm like, no. He goes, dude, I love your podcast. I'm like, no, that's not me. He goes, tell me one. I'm like, it's not my podcast. Yeah. No, I'm not going to tell you a dad joke.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome was deleted for reasons we can't get into right now. We now return to the show, already in progress.
I have a newfound respect for ad people. I really don't. Ever since we've started this, I don't get upset at ads anymore.
Kohl's does not have a freezer section.
They don't.
I meant to say Kroger freezer section.
But like when I get bombarded with advertisements, it doesn't bother me anymore because I'm like, you have to do that. Yeah. You have to beat people over the head.
Yeah.
Like I was like, why does Budweiser advertise every Super Bowl and spend like millions of dollars making those horses walk in the snow?
Yeah.
Like I have to.
Do you know how many ads we saw during the Super Bowl, and then afterwards we're like, "What was that for?"
Yeah,
it's like I knew State Farm. By the way, my favorite.
I love the State Farm.
My favorite was Arnold and Danny.
Yeah.
Neighbor. Neighbor.
Yeah.
Neighbor. That's what I said. Neighbor.
I only saw from the
chopper.
The last 5 minutes of the third quarter
Get
forward.
in the chopper.
Watched it on the plane.
Yeah.
But the first half I didn't see. If I'm ever sitting at a Super Bowl party, because this happened at other it's happened at other Super Bowl parties where someone has said, do they really need to advertise Doritos? I'm going to be the that stops and way too loud for an indoor group of friends say, yes, they do, because you're an idiot. If they didn't advertise Doritos, you wouldn't buy them. I guarantee it.
Yep.
They have to.
The only things they have to stay on people's, because they're not going to go out the next day and buy a bag of Doritos, but next time they're at the store, you know what? I'm craving some Doritos.
I've seen a Lamborghini ad. You reach a certain point where you don't advertise anymore.
Right.
Lamborghini still makes ads.
Really?
I've seen one for a yellow Lamborghini. Yes. There is an ad. I don't remember where I saw it. I saw it was in motion.
It wasn't during NASCAR, I'll tell you that.
They didn't give a price. They didn't say, head on down to King's Lamborghini.
$149 a month. I'd give away. My wife won't let me.
They weren't running a $500 cash back on a Lamborghini. They weren't running one of those, but I did see an ad for one.
It's got power windows. There was a guy in Johnson City who used to sell cars. I'd give them away. My wife won't let me. God, he pissed me off. Drove me crazy all the time.
It's like one of those. It's like one of those things that you learn. Like when Rock and Ron, when he told us they have to play the hits because if they don't, people won't listen.
Yeah.
I've got that information now. It makes sense. It's stuck in my head. Whenever the radio comes on, it's always Journey talking about how we shouldn't stop believing.
Right.
It's Freddie Mercury about people biting the ground. It's it's the same thing. The dust, people biting the dust.
Oh, bite the dust.
Yeah. It's
another one bites the ground. Mike, what the hell are you talking about?
It's David Bowie talking about pressure. It's all these different things. And I get a little pissed. Like, they have to do that. I get not pissed at them, at the radio people. I get pissed at the person that doesn't exist sitting in my car saying, they always just play the hits. It's like, yeah, because that's all you listen to.
Yeah.
It's the same thing now with advertisements. Do you really have to advertise it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're a moron. You're an idiot.
My ex-girlfriend in high school said, if they stopped advertising for tampons, I'd still buy them. But I don't think they had a lot of tampon ads during the Super Bowl.
No.
They didn't.
Did you see the ad with the little cartoon dinosaur and his butt popped, like a little head popped out? And just said the name of the company.
No, I missed that.
That's the one. There's always an ad every year that they talk about on. Stephen Colbert had it on his thing. He said this 5-second ad has taken the internet by storm.
Yeah,
I don't know what it's for because it's a little green dinosaur. He's just sitting there, and then he looks over and his butt explodes. Boing. It like his butt is inflating, like, and it goes. It makes a sound like. And it's another dinosaur head, and it says, and whatever that word is the name of the company. Yeah. And that's it. That's the entirety of the ad. I don't know what they do. I don't know how I missed that. To do with dinosaur butts. It was literally 5 seconds because they had a little timer running at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. That's solid entertainment.
I'm glad Tay-Tay's team won. I came home. I thought everyone was rooting for Kansas City, and I get home, and the next morning I'm like, "Hey, the Chiefs won." It was like, "Yeah," and Bess is like, "What? You wanted them to win?"
Your family switches teams, more than anybody else.
I was like,
I know.
We have Kansas City Chief jerseys in this house. I know because I bought them.
But yesterday was the 49ers. Or Sunday. They wanted the 49ers.
They wanted the 49ers to win because they don't want it to be a dynasty. I guess the Chiefs are winning too much now.
Yeah.
But I spent all this time because my kids got into the Chiefs, learning about the Chiefs. I like Mahomes. It bothers me he can't stand properly. I want him to learn how to, you know what I'm talking about?
He holds his arms out.
He holds his arms out like he's a baby bird about to flap out the nest.
Yeah.
And he's bent. He's always bent weird.
He is. He's like a Gumby.
Both quarterbacks. And they showed, I don't know if the NFL did this on purpose or not, but they showed back to back them doing the same thing. Who was the other guy, the 49ers guy? Purdy kept doing this.
Yeah.
With this hand.
Yeah.
And I asked Andrew, because Andrew's the big football guy, what's he doing here? And he's like, he's probably telling his team to come back on the field.
Right.
I'm like, he's doing it a lot. Are they just leaving him out there and going over to the Gatorade? Because I have to keep calling him back.
Yeah.
But then I notice when Mahomes does it, it's like he's got his birdie hands up. And he's doing this.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to scratch his shoulder.
But he just can't
But his
reach
arm,
it. Yeah.
he's just doing this. I was like, is that the same thing?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. I was like, the players seemed like they were always on the field. I don't see where they were calling him.
Yeah.
And he stands weird. And then Andrew said, I don't like that Mahomes sounds like Kermit the Frog when he talks.
He does. Yeah, there's that meme.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hardy ho.
After they won the game.
Yeah.
Okay. They said they won back-to-back Super Bowls and they won 3 in the past 5 years. Is this your dynasty? And my mom says, did they win 3 back-to-back Super Bowls? I'm like, no, they won 2 back-to-back Super Bowls. They won a third one, another one in 5 years.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they said 3.
Number 3.
Yes, they did say 3, but they won. Okay, they beat, I can't remember who they beat. Then they beat, they beat the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
And then the second time Mahomes was in the Super Bowl, he got beat by Tom Brady in his Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
And then they won last year and then this year. So, yeah. So I explained all that to Mom.
Yeah.
Jacob he had watched some of the game, went out with a friend, came back.
Yeah.
So he comes back. And he's watching it, and then they said it again. It's like 3 games. He said, "Wait, did they win 3 back-to-back?"
Oh, here we go.
No, they didn't win 3 back-to-back. They won, and I'm explaining him to Jacob. And then Libby, who went to her room, she says, "Has any team won 3 in a row like that?" No, they didn't win 3 in a row. Well, they said 3. I know they said 3.
They said 3.
Yeah, because they've won 3 in 5 years.
3 is different than 3 in a row.
Yeah.
3, oh, it's the magic number.
Yes. So it's like after a while, nobody was really listening to the game.
Yeah, that's probably when the dinosaur butt commercial came on. That's why you missed it.
Yeah, I explained it to Mom, explained it to Jacob. Cameron couldn't care less. He already went to bed.
Yeah. But yeah, I was all in on the Chiefs, and I come home to just a very militant household against me, and I'm like, Tay, she won. She wasn't playing. She was playing. Oh, she was playing.
There was some
guy showed her chugging the beer and doing the shots, and she was. And they would like say. She's chugging a beer, and I'm like, hey,
she's of age.
It's Super Bowl. Yeah. It's Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Her boo-boo's playing. What is she supposed to do? Put on her nun outfit and just stand up there and stare straight ahead?
Give everyone a blessing. Come touch my rosary.
You're in Las Vegas. I don't know if anyone's told you you're in Vegas.
Now, did she chug a beer like during the show, or did they videotape it and put it on social media? I think they did that and put it on social media.
I think they did, and it was some kind of statement about the Super Bowl, and it's a video of her chugging the beer.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I mean, there's a lot of things you can do in Vegas.
Chugging a beer is the least.
Chugging a beer is. You ever heard people talk about the iceberg? Have you heard of this thing?
Yeah.
Like the something iceberg, like the U2 iceberg. I'm way down here where the Titanic is in my knowledge of U2. Yeah. In the Tay-Tay.
You gotta stop calling her Tay-Tay.
I'll say you're
a Swiftie, aren't you?
Yeah, Swiftie, yeah. In the Las Vegas iceberg, chugging a beer, you're not even under the water yet.
No.
You're up there with the penguins. Like, come on, dude. Chugging a beer in Vegas.
I can't remember who it was, but this guy put everything into perspective because he was talking about, people are outraged at how much Taylor Swift is on TV. And he's like, okay, he counted it. He's like, okay, at the Patriots, at the Chiefs versus the Dolphins, she was on total of 1 minute and 2 seconds.
Yeah.
At this game, she was on 27 seconds. At this game, when they played Cincinnati, she was on 34 seconds.
Yeah.
And then he says, where was the outrage with, how come they keep shoving Jack Nicholson down my throat? He's been at the Lakers games. Him and Spike Lee for 25 years or however long. They're front row at the Lakers games, and you always see Jack.
Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are at all the Patriots games. Every time they're always showing them. What's wrong?
But people were getting so pissed, and you know me, I like when people get pissed.
I do too. I think
because my Homer Shadowheart said that he hopes that they go to her before the commercial break and after the commercial break, and I said I hope they do picture in picture and have her in the lower third of the screen the whole game. I would love to see her the whole game.
You know why I love it so much? This is honestly,
I love it because I've never seen anything like it.
I'd love. Well, you have. This is to me a sign that things in the world are getting better.
Okay.
You know, people always talk about how the world's going to. When you go on the Facebook, you've got the boomers talking about how we suck. And back in my day, we didn't have plugs. You just had to stick your finger in the wall and touch the toaster, and that's how you heated it up.
And we liked it.
But in the 80s, things seemed to be going okay. They weren't, but we didn't know that. We were kids. But it seemed like the biggest argument was whether Schwarzenegger would beat up Sylvester Stallone. And people would get really upset about that. Nobody was talking about what was going on in the Middle East or down in the South, whatever, and what all this stuff was going on. There was a lot of stuff going on in the 80s politically. Nobody cared about it because we're all talking about Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. And then we're talking about the Ghostbusters, and the second one was nowhere near the first. And yes, it was. And you can't move the Statue of Liberty that way. And what's up with the Gremlins? And that movie's darker. And why did Atreyu's horse drown? That's and I'm sick of my Atari. I want to get a Nintendo. You can't get a Nintendo.
No. You don't get a Nintendo. Atari was the way it was.
Yeah. So that was what everybody was talking about. We've gone through so many years of everything being about the president and Corona and bad things. Now people are back. They're fighting about Tay-Tay being on the Super Bowl. Things are going pretty well when your big thing that's pissing you off is she's chugging a beer in Vegas while her boo-boo's playing. Things must be going pretty well.
This girl I went to high school with today posted, she says, it was the highest rated Super Bowl in ever. Thanks, Taylor Swift. And this guy says, I don't think it was Taylor Swift. I think it was the hype between the two teams. And she goes, it was Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
It was Taylor Swift. Mike, you and I are so lucky to be alive at this time.
Yes.
We're going to tell our grandkids, our great-great, God help us if we're alive enough to see our great-grandkids.
Yeah.
Back when I was in my 50s, Taylor Swift, she went to the... She's going to be like... looking like Meryl Streep then or whatever.
Yeah.
You remember when she went to the Super Bowl and everyone's like, ah! Yeah, that's going to be us.
I hope they put her in the next Star Wars movie. I hope they make Gone with the Wind 2, and she's the star.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, with Taylor Swift.
And
Titanic 2, they pull it up, and she drives the boat back home.
You know they made a Titanic 2. They did.
That sounds vaguely
It was
familiar.
on Tubi. I watched some of it on Tubi.
What's something they can... The Shawshank Redemption 2.
Yeah.
With Taylor
Electric
Swift.
Boogaloo.
Taylor Swift, yeah. And then they go back to the first one and they change the poster so that it's a poster of Taylor Swift that he throws the rock through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do a George Lucas on that.
Exactly.
I want to, remake Scarface with Taylor Swift and, I don't know,
Put her
Bryan
in,
Cranston.
Because you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like what happens with everything. You overexpose her and then she goes away.
Yeah.
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 Not that I want her to.
No.
I don't.
She seems like a nice person. I don't know much about her.
I don't even own any of her music, but
I've caught myself like,
shake it off, shake it off.
And then I do the, what's that, to Shazam to figure out what it is on the radio.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Because I remember I talked about it on this show. I found out I like a Taylor Swift song.
Yeah.
I saw the meme I saw on the Tool fan, of course, the Tool fans.
Oh, the Tool fans love Taylor Swift.
They hate her so much. They have a comparison of a Tool breakup song, Schism, that they won a Grammy for, and then Taylor Swift. And so the Tool one is basically the rift between us is that of the sea, and it's I know I'm butchering the lyrics, and I know that's pissing them off, and I think that's great.
Here we go again.
And then they have right next to it is Taylor Swift is we're never ever getting back together like ever. It's like, guys, come on.
I didn't even think about it.
That's what
never, ever getting back together. I had said that if Taylor Swift and Adele dated, can you imagine the breakup album? Yeah. Oh my God. Immovable Object hits an unstoppable force.
Oh, yeah. So the only thing that is anti-Tay that I enjoyed, and I still enjoy, I think it's a perfect meme. It's perfect.
You know, she was in Cats.
Okay. I'm sorry. When Fear Inoculum from Tool came out, they put all of their music on streaming. And it was the same time Tay had put out one of her albums. Mm-hmm. And every Tool album hit all the top spots and pushed Tay down to like 8 or 9.
Wow.
And then all the Swifties were bitching on social media about who's Tool, what's Tool, rah, rah, rah. And someone made a meme of Thanos with the glove, but they put Maynard and they made him purple.
Hilarious.
And then it showed Taylor Swift like turning into the dust in the next frame. And I thought that was hilarious.
Hilarious.
That's the only anti-Tay thing that I enjoy.
And now she has like $80 gazillion. Yeah. And they have like 40. Well, like $40.
I think they still might have more. I don't know. Yeah. They need to...
What's hilarious is they release like all of their albums, which knocked her down, and she has one album on there that's whatever. I don't know.
It's just cracked me up. I don't. But anyway, the positive in that, we look for the positive in things.
We do,
and the positive in the anti-Tay stuff is that things must be going well. Everyone must be doing fine. If that's what you're bitching
everything's
about.
Great.
And we know it's not. It's like, people wake up.
Yeah.
All right.
We are so over time.
Oh, good God.
And I'm so glad that we talked about the Super Bowl, and it's going to air 4 weeks after. So people literally will be like, I'm so tired of talking about the Super Bowl.
And then that's when our
knuckleheads come out. Yeah. So there you go. You're welcome. We're out of time. Mike, take us home.
All right. I can't. I don't know how. Just follow us on social media. IrritableDadSyndrome.com. Follow us on the Facebooks for you boomers out there. Buy our damn shirt.
Please. Would somebody please buy one shirt?
One of them. And they're funny. You guys talk about them all the time.
If you buy a shirt, we'll have you as a guest on the show.
Follow us on TikTok. You can go to all of our social medias if you go to IrritableDadSyndrome.com.
All right. We hope to see you next week on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Irritable Dad Syndrome is a Mike Odell, Darin Cox production.
Potatoes
that's hilarious.
Every time he's like,
always
you had this,
funny.
You had this, you had the potatoes, and people weren't laughing, which made it funny for me. So I was laughing.
Sometimes when there's no laughter, that makes it even funnier. Yeah. That's like my stand-up routine.
The Tool people, they love us. They love us to death, and they're going to love all the Tool and Tay references. Just going to eat it up.